Beloved, October 20th. After I finished reading Malachi chapter 4, October 20th, 2018, I fell asleep again, and I saw how a huge meeting was taking place. These were from the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they were all inside a huge amphitheater, which was so full that you could hardly walk. Then I was looking at this when I saw some spiders on everyone's back there in that place. None of them, as these spiders were behind their backs, were aware of this. Then my companion said to me, "Observe," and raised his arm on top. And I saw in the dome of that great stadium an indescribably large spider. It was tremendous, and its eyes were slanted, red, and caused fright. This one raised a leg, and at this signal all the spiders that were on the back of the people inside that great amphitheater began to weave and wrap these people from head to toe with their web. So at that moment, I got desperate and asked to please let me warn what was happening to that crowd and about the huge spider on the roof of the big stadium. So permission was granted, and I started yelling at them to run, to get out of there, to look up to what was wrapping them to devour them. But they were calm and sleeping, so they were looking at me and were still standing there. They were not moving. Then I heard a voice coming from that stadium, and it said, "Hello, brothers. How glad I am that you are all here. We know you, not only by name, but you are like our families, because we know everything about you, so that we can help you better now, and in turn, you can also help us to know others better. Today is your big day." Then everyone shouted, "Amen." I was looking from where the voice came, but I couldn't see who was speaking, so my companion told me, "It's time, let's go." Then we were suspended, observing that place, and I saw how everyone was wrapped in this spider web. The older spider took care of them, and I heard when a strident noise like war sounded. I saw how 3 huge frogs entered the amphitheater. A huge, thick black snake with slanted yellowish eyes, and a great animal like a red dragon was flying over the great stadium. The dragon released fire from its mouth and consumed the huge spider, and in turn the other spiders that were inside the amphitheater climbed the walls and quickly left that place. While I was observing this, I fell on my knees in horror, and my strength left me, and I could not stand up. So my companion encouraged me and lifted me up and said, "Observe." Then at that moment, beloved brothers, I saw then that those who had been wrapped by the web of the spiders that were like in a capsule of web, they began to move, and the capsules like they began to tear. Then I was horrified to see that no longer people were coming out of those capsules, but serpents were coming out, and their gaze was towards the largest serpent that was in that place. Beloved, my fright was so great that I again fell to the ground without strength, and my companion told me, "Go and understand, because you have been commissioned to clarify your mind at this time." Then my strength began to return. My mind began to clear, and started then to speak. He told me that the amphitheater with the people is the Seventh-day Adventist World Church, that small spiders are responsible for entangling those who sleep in Laodicea, that the large and frightening spider watches that everything is done as ordered, and of giving the signal on time and accurately to the small spiders, that the people in the capsules is their nature that is changed, because they did not want to hear the supplication and warning from God, that the serpent that watched is the enemy of God, who has already given him permission to deceive, kill, and devour, that the vermilion dragon enjoys at a distance that everything goes according to his plan, and in itself the moment that all its followers be his allies to destroy others. Then I saw at that moment an animal never seen before. Beloved, its appearance was horrible, so much so that there are no human words to say a name that describes it. His appearance was hideous. It reflected his intentions. I saw his head, and it had a huge, large, 3-story crown. Then I observed and could see that these 3 animals could communicate effectively with each other, and I saw their enlistment as the enlistment of an army. Seeing inside those snakes in that Colosseum 3 huge frogs that jumped between them, and the snakes did not bite them. They harmonized perfectly with what was happening in that place. So while I saw all this and was in her, my companion told me, "This beast is a usurper of God and declares himself as God on earth. It is time for you to speak up on this day and proclaim sentence to the one who claims to be my people, for I see their deeds of ruin and perdition, and that nothing escapes my eye. Today, I put a sentence on those who take census without me sending them, because this comes from the evil one, and everyone who does so will be cut off from my people." Dear brothers, these words are great and terrible for me. Exodus chapter 30, verse 12 to 14 was quoted to me. And there I began to read and ask the Lord that please all those people who do not understand this can understand it, and that they are not participants in the great destruction, in the imminent fall that our church, in which we were formed, is going to have, because it has the correct gospel, because God deposited it there, but is not living God's parameters. May God grant that each one of us can be understanding, and we can realize, and we can raise flag on behalf of God and follow God before men. May the Lord bless you all.